So it's the heat of the Wyfold Challenge Cup between Quintin Boat Club in the blue up against Thames Rowing Club A in the black with red on the right of our picture.
So Cox's Falls getting away reasonably cleanly, getting that start under your belt and into a good line ahead of hitting the end of the island where the wind can cut across and upset you a little bit. Little bit of steering here from the Thames crew. You don't really want to be doing that at this point. And umpire Richard Phelps stands, raises his flag and warns them straight away, responding from Thames. But now, of course, this often happens. You can see the Quintin crew on the left of our picture have moved out too, fearing a collision, and now they're getting perilously close to the wooden booms.
Well, it's Simon Williamson in the bow seat of that Thames crew on the right of our shot who has to make the correction. There's no doubt that will have taken a bit of speed away from the Thames crew. Hopefully for Quintin it won't have disturbed them too much. Richard Phelps was quickly onto the flag to make that correction, and we're going to move quickly down the course coming towards Forley. And as we can see, Thames haven't been able to open up a big lead on the crew from Quintin. These two were in positions adjacent to each other, next to each other at Marlow Regatta, finishing in 10th and 11th. So although Thames are a selected crew in this event, this is a pretty tough draw for them taking on Quintin. Yeah,
and a great opportunity for Quintin to unsettle the firm lead that Thames would like to have. And you can see it's a very even race at this point, and I think Quintin are doing a really good job of holding on and pushing through into the middle of the course. Look at that backdrop though. Look at the beautiful setting that we've got here at Henley for some epic competition as we approach the middle of the course in a time of 3:23. Pretty solid times that we're getting at the moment in the tailwind conditions that we have here. And the steering, both crews now looking a bit more under control, with Thames still having the edge over Quintin.
As you say, it was a fantastic shot to get the head-on shot where you can see the impact of the steering and any of that tailwind, which looks pretty straight, so I don't think it should really affect the steering of the crews, but it's just dealing with the water. It's dealing with the nerves as well. But a Coxless 4 in the Wyfolds, you do sometimes see them get pretty close to each other or pretty close to the booms. And of course, you know, getting too close to those booms, it's not like running over a line of buoys. It could be a race ender if you go clattering into those.
Yeah, and I think we saw at the start, didn't we, what happens if one crew swerves a bit. It's very, very difficult for the other crew to just hold their line. They're kind of very distracted, potentially want to just keep away from any danger zone. And I always think, you know, if you're the steersman, you're under real pressure in these Coxless boats. You've got a foot with a wire attached to the rudder. You've got to think about how to steer. If you're not the steersman and something seems to be happening with the steering, it's very hard to be anything other than distracted. And so that can break down the cohesion of a crew. I think both crews here were equally affected at the start, and now we see them both much more confident of their lines.
Well, it's interesting there, we're having a look at the Thames crew. We're just on that wide shot with Quintin Boat Club. I saw Rob Williams in the 2 seat take a look over his left shoulder, and I think the look will have showed him that Thames have not got away. And now it's time for them to look to attack. Mike Ewing in the stroke seat of this Quintin boat. He actually won this event back in 2010, so he's got the experience. He knows what it's like to win. And I think tough. Quintin are mounting a charge here.
Yeah, this is tough. Quintin having a really good attack, and it looks like they've closed a little bit on Thames. Now you see the Thames response coming in as they stick up their stroke rate. A couple more strokes a minute there from them, but the timing's not quite as it should be. So I think they may be a little bit tired, and perhaps Quintin will get a sniff of that, a sniff that things aren't quite going as well as they could be in the Thames boat at this point.
Well, I don't know about you, but I've always found when you're in a race like this, you're trying to finish the other crew off. You've gone, right, let's push at the barrier and try to finish them, and you haven't finished them. Let's push at Forley, but you haven't finished them. They're still there, they're nagging away. And to me, this Quintin crew have been nagging away. And now this is the time where it really matters. Comes to the enclosure. Can they make a move?
Yeah, it's absolutely right, Greg. It's the mental toughness that you need now. It's the self-belief that you can go and then go again and then go again. And although it's going to hurt you by pushing on, you're going to hurt them more than it's hurting you. So it's a great opportunity now for Quintin to demonstrate that. Richard Phelps, the umpire, raises his flag, warns the Thames crew away. They're coming very close. If they start to impede Quintin, then the umpire might have to make a call on this race, as we're pretty close to the finish line now.
Well, I think that's the sort of move you make when you're a bit nervous. You let the boat wander over towards the opposition, try and push the puddles down towards Quintin. I don't think they've done it too much. They've responded to Richard Phelps every time he's shown that flag, as we see this picture on the finish line.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right there. Good early response by Thames. Great umpiring by Richard Phelps. He spotted it straight away to avoid any kind of mishap there. It looks like the Thames crew have got it probably by 2/3 of a length over Quintin.
We see them coming down. They've crossed the line. I'm taking a look to my left to see the umpire's launch. I think Richard Phelps is about to raise his white flag, which he does, to say he's happy with that result, and that's a win for Thames Rowing Club over Quintin Boat Club.
Yeah, there's Richard Cox, a very experienced umpire there, with relief putting his white flag away, hoping not to use it too often.